So this little light is no stranger to me. That is number one problem with this car. It is the fuel economy. The fuel economy is absolutely horrendous. It gets like 24 miles per gallon and like 15 miles per gallon round town. So number one, fuel economy. So I'm gonna have to go fill up very quick. We're actually running late for the Apple store, but let's go quickly fill up. Point number two of why you shouldn't buy this car, and this is probably only if this annoys you, but the gearbox when it is cold is so clunky, so jerky, it will annoy the shit out of you. So just going around corners, those first couple of changes in the morning are horrendous. And I know that every gearbox is bad when it's cold. Every automatic gearbox needs to warm up a little bit before it gets smoother. But this in particular is horrendous. So when it warms up, absolutely fine. It's a pretty quick gearbox, but when it's cold, what a rough ride. The fuel economy on this car really isn't bad at all. It's 24 miles per gallon on average. I get about 32 on a run. However, I am coming from like a 320D diesel. So I am used to having better fuel economy in general, like 50 miles per gallon. So when my overall fuel budget every single month doubled, it's a bit of a shock to the bank balance. But when you consider the speed, noise, everything you get with this car, doesn't really matter in the end. Now we do have a warning light on the dashboard at the moment which says brake wear visit workshop. I've been to the workshop and all of my brakes are fine, my discs are fine. It is just because they're actually, the previous owner put high performance brakes on this car, so they're not compatible with the existing sensors and the car's not recognizing it. So I have to put all the sensors back to stock if I want to get rid of that message, which is fine. But when the brakes do wear out, I'll go back to OEM brakes. Okay, the lighting is probably pretty terrible right now because I'm going up an underground car park. However, number three is the throttle lag on this car. There is literally like a half a second delay when you are pulling away and you're not even sure if you pressed the accelerator or if anything's happened. So you ended up sort of jerking yourself forward or just thrusting yourself forward. It's quite crazy until you get used to it. So what I'm going to do is try and give you somewhat of an idea of what it's like as we're driving through this car park. And luckily there is no one around, we're not disturbing anyone. So you come to a stop like this and throttle. There is that slight delay. Again, coming to this give way, stop, throttle. Slight delay when you're moving, and that can take a lot of getting used to, because if you think about it, you're coming to traffic lights or you're in traffic, you're kind of like lurching yourself forward the entire time. So it makes it difficult in situations like this when you're coming up to a car parking space and you put your ticket in and you've got a car. Oh, this is embarrassing. And you've got a car on your right, you're not sure who's going to go. And then you've got to go, you press the accelerator, go, and there's that delay, and then they think you're going. There's a lot happens in half a second. They think that you're going to go, and they end up going, and then you lurch forward, and you look like a right dickhead. Now, I know there are things that you can do to solve that. There's lots of aftermarket options. So what there is there's a wire you can buy, and it goes from your accelerator all the way, and it sort of sits underneath your heater controls. And it makes the throttle response a lot better, and it's a lot nicer car to drive. However, I just don't want something like that fitted to my car. I am a great believer in if there's any kind of aftermarket stuff on a car, then the chances are it's been tampered with in ways where corners could have been cut, cheap options, things like that, or maybe they've chipped the car. You just don't know what other things that implies if someone is willing to modify their car with aftermarket accessories. So I would rather just learn how to use the throttle response and just learn to live with it. Number four might not be specific to all cars, but this car is rattly. There's a lot of just kind of rattly bits and creaks and things like that. And people say, oh, Mercedes of that era, they weren't that well built. This is a well built car, but things like the roof rack, so there's like a tray where the roof goes into in the boot. For example, things like that, you can hear that rattling. You can hear my chair sometimes will creak when going around corners and things like that. So that would be my fourth point of why you shouldn't buy this car. In general, bit of a creaky car, the roof starts to creak. If you don't mind that, usually I've got the radio on, or I'm enjoying that exhaust noise or something like that, so it doesn't really bother me. However, if it's something that bothers you, then it's a reason not to buy this car. Holy shit, look at this black rain cloud coming in. There is a storm coming across. And just up to wrap up this vlog, number 5, last on the list, is actually the directness of the steering on this car. So I'm driving around my estate right now, and I just want to give you an idea of what it's like to drive around the corners. You literally have to turn the steering wheel like 360 to get around a corner. So my last car was a BMW, and it had a lot more direct steering. I'm sure it's not my imagination. So just going around a corner, the amount I have to turn the wheel, like that is literally 360. And then again around this corner, it takes actually quite a lot of work. It's like driving a bus. It's not too bad at high speeds, but that's it. So I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here because look at that weather. But thanks for watching. If you like videos like this, I do car reviews, tech reviews, business advice, that kind of thing. So if you want to see more videos like this, do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.